Hey gang, today we're going to do two sweet blues licks, and I'm calling them sweet blues for three reasons. Number one, it's over a blues progression. Number two, it really emphasizes the chord changes as they're happening. And number three, they are very melodic lines. They are not so note intensive, so we're going to try and milk everything that we can out of the lines. All right, so first things first, the chord progression that we're going to play over is F, C, and then 2 bars of G. Again, F, C, 2 bars of G. Let's take a look at the, oh, I should tell you the tab is in a link to the description below. You can check that out if you'd like. So let's talk a little bit about the theory. If you know some theory, you know that these chords are diatonic to the key of C. So we could think of this as playing, we could play in C major or G Mixolydian, and all the notes are going to sound good. But I have to tell you, I don't think about that at all. By the way, C major and G Mixolydian both share the same notes. If you don't know that, you might want to check out a video I did on modes a while back. Having said that, for these licks, I don't think about scales in the least. I don't think about them at all. I think about chord shapes, and especially that G chord shape, because I know I want to end up on a note in that G chord. If I end up on a note in that G chord, it's going to sound very, very strong. It's going to give me a very strong resolved feeling. Okay? Especially over a chord progression like this, which has a lot of finality to it on that G. Okay, let's take a look at that first lick. The first lick is, stripping it down, is something like this. Okay, so let's play that down and take out the bends and the vibrato and stuff like that so we can strip it down. And I think then it's going to be a lot easier to understand that line. So the line starts like this. I bend up to an F, so I'm just going to play the F right here. Here's an F on the 2nd string, 6th fret. And then I go to this note, which is an E on the second string, 5th fret. And then this note. Okay, so once again, slowly I'll play it. Okay, so how do I get to making it sound a little more interesting? But that's the melody line that I'm trying to get. You can see it's a real strong melody line. And let's break it down. That first note where I'm really playing is over that F chord. That happens to be right in an F triad. Happens to be an F on the 2nd string, 6th fret. So you know that's going to sound good over that chord. All right, the next thing is, now I'm settling on a note right here, 2nd string, 5th fret. That's on. Think about this little C chord that you can play with the root on the 5th, okay, and then the triad on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings are on the 5th fret. Right, that's a little C triad. So you know that note's going to sound good because it's in the chord. And then finally I walk down to this G note right here. And that happens to be in this little G triad. And then I play an extra note. I just play this, which is the G on the 8th fret, anticipating the next place I'm going to go on the neck. But if we take a look at this lick entirely, all I'm really thinking about is I've got an F triad right here. And I'm thinking about my chords. My F triad right here, my C triad right here, and my G triad right here. So if I find those notes, all I really have to do is dress up, kind of walking between those chord forms. And that's what I'm doing. When I play this, I'm bending up to the F on the 6th fret, and then putting a little vibrato on it to make it sound interesting and good. And I'm also picking down to make it a nice, hard, strong note. That's pretty simple. I'm just landing on that note. Lots of vibrato, and then walking down to my 3rd of the G. All right, and that's all that lick is. Now on the recording, or when we were doing it, I played a couple pickup notes. I think it was something like this. Something like that. And I'm just outlining a G chord. I'll put that in a tab too. All right, so that's the first line. And you can see it's really just playing over those chord forms in this position. I try and find those triads that are really close, and then I play notes of the chords. Sounds pretty sweet. Okay, let's do the second one. All right, so that's the lick right there that I'm playing. And let me tell you what I'm thinking there. Okay, so I need to find my 3 chords, my F, my C, and my G. Okay, so here it is right here. Here's my F. Okay, root on the 5th string, 8th fret, and then I'm going on a 4, 3, and 2, I'm playing 10, 10, 10. Okay, great. The second one is my C chord, and that's this one right here. But I'm only going to play the 4, 3, and 2. That's the one I'm really looking for. 4, 3, and 2 strings. So that's 10, 9, and 8 frets on those strings, respectively. That's my little C triad. And here's my little G triad. Right? I can think of this as the root being on the 2nd string, 8th fret, or I can think of the C chord that I would normally play in open position, where the root in this G chord is on the 10th fret. Or I'm sorry, on the 5th string, 10th fret, yeah. But again, I'm not playing that whole chord, I'm just playing on the 4, 3, and 2 strings. Those are the triads I'm looking for. So these 3 triads right here are the things I'm looking for. Just like in the first one, I was playing this. Now I'm playing this. Okay? And this lick, okay, so that just starts out basically playing an F, and I'm just kind of trying to dress that up by bending and pulling off and giving it vibrato. I'm just really staying on that F. And now I'm going to play to get to that C. Okay, so you'll notice that this note is a note in the F triad. Okay, it's the 3rd of F, but we don't need to know that. We just need to know it's in that triad. Okay, and then I'm going to this. I'm going to go to this note, which is my C triad. Again, all I'm doing is I'm dressing things up a little bit and ending up on that, resolving it. Okay, and now I'm going to end up on my G triad. All right, so you see I'm really not doing anything at all other than trying to think about, not innovative, but interesting ways of getting from one triad to the next and playing notes within that triad. And even that ending piece, if you think about it, I think I played something like that little bend there, which is kind of a common one. What I'm doing is I'm bending up to this note right here, which, guess what, is in a G triad right here. It's just like the open string 4, 3, and 2. Right? It's the same. But I'm playing, if you think about it, it's a G chord with a root on the 10th. Okay? And I'm bending up to this note, which happens to be in that chord. Pretty cool, huh? And then I was playing kind of a standard lick. All right. So the first line, let's go over the whole thing again. The first thing envisions these three chords, this F triad, the C triad, and this G triad. And the lick is... Notice this note right here I end up is in this G triad. So again, I'm anticipating I'm going to come up to here. The second lick is over these three chords, this F triad, this C triad, and this G triad. All right? And so the first one is I'm just playing, literally, I'm just playing this note and bending it up and pulling it off and doing stuff like that and giving vibrato to make it interesting. Okay, and then I'm thinking about how can I get to this note because this is in my triad. Okay, and finally I'm playing over my last G triad. Nice note to resolve to. It's the root. It's actually a G. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this one, and this is another one of those things where it doesn't matter so much the scale as it does the trying to come up with a melody that's kind of interesting and thinking about the chord changes and the movement between those chords. All right, until next time, we'll see you on down the road.